Please excuse my butchering of the Sanskrit language.
I don't have a name for it, so I don't know what
Good.
it is.
The mind loves to work and loves assignments, and so you can send the mind into that.
I mean, how can we expect you to be perfect when you were born, Johnny?
What even is perfect?
Right?
Only happens when you think about it, right?
100%. Perfection is created in the mind.
The word nirvana simply means to extinguish. I'm not an expert on Sanskrit, so feel free to share more direct translations in the comments. But for the purpose of this video, I'll give my own translations to the use of the Sanskrit word for nirvana and so on and so forth in the context of spiritual enlightenment. To make this simple for the layperson who doesn't give two F's about Buddhism and all that spiritual jazz, I'll be defining nirvana or liberation as extinguishing the suffering caused by a mental self believing it knows what is true over the direct experience of life. The problem with words is that two people can use the exact same ones and mean two completely different things. And that's no truer even with a grandiose word such as enlightenment. You'll get different opinions and answers depending on the group or person you ask. Since this is my video, I can say whatever the heck I want. I'll use the term enlightenment to refer to reality as it is instead of how the mind perceives it. And like with all definitions, you can poke holes into about any statement if you sit with it long enough with that specific intention. But that would drag this introduction way too long and waste everyone's time. So, here I share some of my favorite bits of wisdom. The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. Lao Tzu. Just like the Zen koan of the finger pointing to the moon, do not confuse the finger for what it's pointing to, or the reflection of the moon for the moon itself. Simply put, do not get caught in the semantics of the words I use, but what my words are trying to lead you to pay attention to. And since this is a gaming channel, we'll be talking about Nirvana with a game that haphazardly uses these concepts. And that game is...
The traitor Asura has been defeated!
Earth is being invaded by giant monsters called Goma. There are 8 demigods here to shape the world of Gaia as they please. The source of their strength is called mantra. When the people of Shinkoku are in prayer, they're able to share their mantra with these demigods. Each demigod embodies a different trait. Kinda like the 7 deadly sins, but less straightforward. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know how to make sense of them, but that's not the point of this video. One of their strongest warriors is the wrathful Asura. Asura's daughter, Mitra, guides the people to support these all-powerful beings. General Deus uses the Brahmastra cannon as a last resort to get rid of as much Goma as he can in one swell swoop, but all it does is call forth the undefeatable Vlitra to retaliate. Fun fact, Vlitra means will of the planet. The only one who's able to quell the beast, stop the will of the planet itself, is Asura. One thing I don't like about using quotes about someone who speaks another language is that it's quoted in the interpretation of the translator, and since the person we're quoting is dead, we can't really ask for clarifications. Even so, the common translation of Siddhartha Gautama Buddha's most popular quote is, "Life is suffering." But this is my own interjection. Maybe "life is unsatisfactory" would be a better translation for that common phrase, especially for the sake of this video. When I use the word suffering, I don't mean pain. Pain is not optional. If I step on a needle, you bet your ass I'm going to be screaming profanities. But suffering is optional. Suffering is the mental bartering that one does to validate how what is happening shouldn't be happening. I shouldn't have stepped on that needle. This is stupid. Why is this happening? Or a mental judgment. I'm stupid. I'm an idiot. Or I'm a loser for not noticing that needle. This is the Buddhist parable, the second arrow. The first arrow someone shot at you that pierced your body, that was inevitable. The second arrow is the arrow your mind shoots to pierce itself. It's basically mental self-harm. So what happens when we have a sense of suffering? We begin to crave its inverse, peace. We fight and use as much willpower we can to escape suffering right now and hope there's a future that will satisfy us. We can call this craving. Back at home, Asura's wife, Durga, and his daughter welcome him back with open arms. It's not long before he's asked to go and see the emperor, but once he arrives, his arms are covered in blood as the emperor falls. Everyone accuses him of murder as he fights to make his escape. The demigod of violence, Wisen, tries to take him down as he searches for his wife and daughter, but Asura is able to strike him down in a single punch. When he finds his wife, she's nearly dead. She uses her final breath to tell him to please save their daughter at all costs.
Listen to me. Wait. Move! Deus, it was you. Yes, I did what was necessary for the cause. I have decided to save this world. I will create a new civilization, a great rebirth. Your death shall be the foundation of my world. I said let her go! I will have my vengeance!
Asura is awoken by the sounds of his daughter crying, but she's nowhere in sight. It's his mind playing tricks on him, his pain body, as Eckhart Tolle would say. Pain that's not physical, but psychological. The golden spider approaches him in Naraka, which is basically the Sanskrit word for hell, urging him to climb this giant tower so he may make his way back.
They're crying.
There is nothing to hear but the sound of my voice.
This is Asura's suffering, a denial of his pain with the inner fight to extinguish it in the hopes it will bring him stability. The first arrow is his feelings of grief for his daughter's pain. This is grounded in reality, but his argument against this, the screaming for it to stop as he runs away from it, this is his second arrow, the pain he inflicts onto himself by trying to forcefully suppress his emotions. Asura was asleep for 12,000 years. Things have changed. Those who were once his fellow allies are now tyrants who control Gaia to maintain peace. Wisen returns to stop the traitor. He calls himself one of the 7 deities now. How hubristic, aren't they?
Witness the power bestowed upon us by our priestess, your very daughter, Mithra! Tell me what you've done with her! Can you feel it? She suffers to atone for your sins. Mantra reactor, release! You bastards!
He's met by his dear friend and brother-in-law, Yasha, threatening him to never return. They will keep the peace and Asura will only disrupt what they've created.
Pathetic. Look at you. You cannot harm me. Knock that mask off! Tats Enough. We are bringing salvation to Gaia. You should be proud. Of Mithra's suffering? Yes, and I will say it again. Your daughter is devoted to the cause in order to save the world. Who do you think you are? God. What? It is meaningless!
We meet again.
Samsara is the cyclic nature of unsatisfactoriness when stuck in a world of form-chasing craving. Form. Form simply means something the mind perceives to be real, individual things with its own unique form and traits. It's like a description of eating a strawberry versus the experience of actually eating a strawberry. Form is me describing the succulently sweet taste of a strawberry, but it's not the same as the actual experience of eating said strawberry. The problem is people often confuse the conception of something for the thing itself. This creates a craving. If you think of pizza or see an image of a pizza, It can activate cravings in you even though you may not actually be hungry. Thoughts that ooey gooey cheesy pizza will give you a certain feeling of euphoria. That's the trance of how thoughts convinces you it knows what will satisfy you. An idea in one's head that the thing in the mind in the future is what it needs to feel fulfilled. For example, you can have an idea in your mind, form, that you need a wife or husband to be happy. This mental perception makes it so whenever you feel that inherent unsatisfactoriness in your body, your mind will associate that idea as your solution for your suffering. So you chase cravings that your mind projects will satisfy you instead of experiencing the actual reality that is present. The future doesn't exist. You can only imagine it. Same with the past. All forms of mental projection are an avoidance of direct, lived experience. The now, you could say, form, and object implies separation, that things aren't simply a whole as it is, but individual things not connected to one another. This sense of separation can make people feel alone or separate from life. Me, myself, or I is form. To think you and everything around you isn't constantly interdependently in a dance of interplay creates its own form of suffering. You're all alone. But in actuality, you don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, because that's actually impossible in the first place. Do something, anything, and try to see how it doesn't somehow interact with, or was interacted by something else. The entire universe even. When we talk about samsara, it's not necessarily a physical rebirth, but a rebirth of craving, which causes an inherent unease. I'm going to separate the words desire and craving. A desire is a want and just that, a want. But is that the level where you're okay with not having it? That's desire. I desire pizza, but while I don't have it, I'm alright. It's not the end of the world just because I can't have a slice. A craving is something you want, but it feels like a need. If you don't have it, it drives you crazy. When we crave, we believe our unsatisfactoriness can only be killed by satiating our cravings. If you want a girlfriend but don't have one, you will feel like a failure if you associate happiness with having a girlfriend. You suffer for it. You ever met a single person who's perfectly okay with being single versus someone who's desperate for a partner? The former desires companionship but is a-okay without it. The latter, their craving is making them suffer, and they do everything in their power to get into one, even if it makes them prone into forming harmful relationships, which brings their own form of pain. The cycle of suffering continues. But what happens to our cravings when they're fulfilled? A momentary lull of craving, only for it to soon after come back ever more lustful, like wanting an orgasm. Once you get it, there's a moment where craving ceases, but give it time, the craving is born again. A cycle of the death of craving and the rebirth of craving. That is samsara. Like a hungry ghost where food will only pass through its belly, cravings cannot be satisfied. You'll always eat more of it until it kills you from the inside. The golden spider commends Asura for his grit. It's what prevents Deus and the 7 deities from tainting Asura from his true desire, to protect the well-being of his daughter, a steadfastness he himself is searching for.
You're crying. Stop it!
A woman wakes him up from his slumber. He protects her village from the Goma attack only to be confronted by the demigod of sloth, Carlo. He's here to gather mantra for Deus, and he's taking it from the villagers, by force. You see, while Asura was able to defeat Vlitra, it's being revived. The 7 deities need all the mantra they can get in order to stop it. Carlo isn't one to be on the front lines. He's quite hands-off as he lets his foot soldiers take care of his dirty work. When you fight a fool, you waste your time, is what he believes.
Can nothing quell my anger? We, the seven deities, have finally brought stability and order to our world. Above all, Lord Daughter's power is the pillar that keeps it in place. Wait, I said, it was you that want to protect this world from the Goma, yes? We're almost there. Soon the Goma will be no more. After the Great Rebirth, no more will need to be sacrificed. Yes, the world will be free from the threat of the Goma, and we shall attain eternal paradise. I grow tired of hearing about the world.
When Asura wakes up from his descent, he finds himself in a bathhouse surrounded by scantily clad ladies and his master, the demigod of greed, August. You see, getting rid of the Goma with the great rebirth and maintaining peace is of no interest to him. No, that's all too boring for a mighty warrior such as himself. All he lives for is to fight. The time of peace they've had these 12,000 years has made his allies weak, and now there is no one who will prove a greater challenge than his people, full of rage and vigor, Asura.
Let's settle this. How would you like to die? Not quite. Knowledge of the fairest maidens in heaven. I've tasted the finest wines of Gaia. But none of it excites my blood more than using my blade. Nothing like you. who stands in the end is righteous.
Back at the village, Asura has won their praise, but unlike the other deities, he cares not for this. Sickened by his revolt, the demigod of lust, Olga, intervenes. She wipes away the village, causing Asura to go berserk with rage. To be trapped by unsatisfactoriness is to be trapped by karma. One of the layers of perception is cause and effect. To be free from unsatisfactoriness is to see what is beyond cause and effect, because this, then that is the result. When perceiving directly from the senses, there is no before or after. Before and after all happen right now in the mind as it creates a mental framework of past and future. To be free of karma is to see there is no direct experience of past or future. You can only imagine it, think it, and with all thoughts of time, it all happens directly right now. Without believing the mind's conclusions of cause and effect, there is only the direct experience of sensations. Samsara of the cycle of karma is broken when consciousness experiences life directly, instead of believing the mind's interpretations of individual things acting on one another, or in a spiritual context. When you clearly see there is nothing other than oneness, there ceases to be objects that are influenced by one another. It may also be called emptiness or formlessness, Sunyata in Sanskrit. In this day and age, I find there's a demonization of anger. But anger is part of being a whole, complete human being. Anger unchecked is dangerous, but anger suppressed is a ticking time bomb. Have you ever been a people pleaser like I was? You know what it's like to lose your shit when you can't stuff down your anger to put on an empty smile anymore. Anger in itself isn't the enemy. It's a signal that you're feeling mistreated. And if you've made peace with anger, you can express it while it's simply energy to motivate you to get out of a bad situation. If you let it boil over, it transmutes into hatred. Anger and hatred are two different things. Anger is a sensation in the body. It is energy. Hatred is personal. It's when anger is directed at other people, or even yourself. Have you ever met someone who has the belief all men/women are terrible? That's hatred. Anger would be the tension in your body telling you to act when you notice someone not respecting your boundaries. It's simply fuel to get you to stand up for yourself. Hatred is a belief you make onto a person or group and why they are wrong or evil. It's about having enemies, even if that enemy is yourself. It comes from a mental belief. All men are pigs. All women are gold diggers. I'm an awful person because of this or that, etc., etc. Just to add, you can be angry without having hatred. If you have a kid or a pet and they accidentally break something, you can be angry at them without hating them, villainizing them. Because of this, hatred is bound by karma. You did this, so that makes you bad. Cause and effect. The experience of anger itself without the mental constructions is just a sensation, a normal part of being a feeling being. Anatta. Sanskrit for there being no inherent individual self separated from any and all things. There aren't even things. There's just the unity of all things in which there is nothing to be broken down from the one whole. So there is no individual that can be derived. If there is a you, a separate entity over there causing harm to me right here, that is hate. The sensation of anger doesn't need objects of mind. It can just be a source of action.
Why do you keep coming back? What is it that you are fighting for? And this power of yours, how can it surpass the power that took us 12,000 years to attain?
He must be stopped, here and now. Ready the Brahmastra.
With how powerful ASURA'S become, Olga wants to use the Brahmastra to subdue him, but Yasha, the demigod of melancholy and ASURA'S dear friend, considers this a waste of mantra. All the souls they had to sacrifice to ensure the great rebirth. Their lives will be wasted, all for nothing. But Olga argues, if ASURA is alive, the great rebirth would be nullified anyways. He's much too dangerous to be kept alive. So Yasha asserts that he will deal with ASURA himself if he must, but neither party can come to a truce. So the infighting begins.
Our cause is genuine. We are in the right.
You need to live in the moment more. You think too much.
You are out of time, Yasha. Brahmastra, fire!
This is not the cause I supported.
The demigod of vanity, Sergei, wants more mantra after that blast wiped out 3/4 of all their power, so he goes to a village to get some, much to Yasha's refusal. The village isn't under attack, so there's no need to go. But won't you look at that? Goma are about to attack said village. Yasha rushes over to save them. This is 2 hours after his talk with Deus, questioning his motives and ability to lead. Why did someone as simple-minded and directionless as Asura get so powerful? Olga pleads with him to punish Yasha for betraying her, but he isn't having any of it. He reassures him, power is only useful if it has direction. They have a cause, so strength will be on their side, unlike Asura's blind rage. He dons his mask as he's assigned to accompany Sergei to remember the beauty that their justice is fighting for.
Filthy beasts!
You see how they willingly part with their souls to please their gods.
Bastard.
You! It was I killed your precious sister.
I knew.
So you chose the cause over your own sister. Bravo! You deserve a treat, loyal dog of Deus. See the beauty in the death of your family.
When you live among the stars, you lose sight of what is happening on the ground.
Srotapanna, Kensho, is the Zen term for this phenomenon. When someone glimpses beyond the idea of themselves and has a glimpse of who they are beyond their mental self-perception, beyond their ego, this is stream entry. We'll get into some of the pitfalls later as we face the final deity, but for now,
Asura, we, the seven deities, have chosen to bear this world on our shoulders. We must see the cause through, even if it invites tragedy upon ourselves. Gaia needs saving. We must want the same for her. If so, lend us your power. It is not too late for you. Right. I forgot. Still the same Asura. You do not listen to anyone! Ah! Saving the world is no easy task. I played my part as best I could. You have no idea, do you? You imbecile! Asura! You idiot. You'll destroy yourself with your own power. He is the enemy. I should dispose of him where he stands. But my soul tells me different. It screams to me. Do not let him die. You will not listen to reason, and listen to my fists! I have business in Shinto. Wait for my return.
I will not let you take any more lives!
As we've seen throughout history, anger is a necessity when someone tries to strip us of our rights. If those in power take away our anger, there would have been no motivation to fight for equality. Without anger, there would not have been countless revolutions fighting for our human dignity. Seeing the atrocity of senseless slaughter as a means to justify an authoritarian peace, Yasha has a change of heart, believing now that the people are worth protecting, not sacrificing. He learns his strength to help Asura confront the demigod of pride.
Deus, you are blinded by your own pride. There are other paths for bringing salvation to Gaia.
I don't care about that. I don't know how to save the world. What I do know is, if I save Mithra, this hell will finally end! Asura. Save the world by turning the souls of humans into mantra. Was that the best you could think of? You and your worthless cause? How dare you make Mithra suffer for your own gain? You will pay! Deus! I am taking Mithra back!
One of the traps of Kensho is that if you let it get to your head, you're going to start to believe you're better than other people who haven't seen what you've seen. It puts your head above the clouds. I love Adyashanti's phrase, being drunk on emptiness. An emptiness that sees things as having no meaning, a negative connotation. That is nihilism. That is not Sunyata. Sunyata isn't negative, but nor is it positive. And it's not neutral either. It's simply, it is as it is, and it includes all things. There's no denial to positive, negative, or neutral, but there's no forced mental interpretation for all the above either. Beyond Kensho is Satori. It's being able to see the inherent nothingness of all things alongside their inherent somethingness or meaning we've given to it as not two opposing views, but as one and the same. A popular term people use to describe this nowadays is non-duality, or simply not two. If you ever loved someone but not liked them, maybe a parent or even incompatible lover, you might not like them personally, but you love them enough to want them to be happy, even if it means you have to cut them out of your life. Two opposing things, yet they aren't fully opposites, as you can hold them together and still have it be true. Non-duality is kind of like that. In modern day spiritual circles, stream entry is called spiritual awakening. But spiritual awakening is not the same as enlightenment. It's simply getting your foot in the door to start the liberation process. The problem with believing awakening to be enlightenment is that it fuels your ego, that you know better than others, simply because you've touched upon something beyond ego. But the ego is still there. You may even develop a spiritual ego because of this. Deus mentions the planet and the humans who inhabit it are enemies, implying humans aren't a part of nature itself. He's creating a separation. He's not seeing unity, and he uses this as justification on why he knows what is right for the world. Deus believes this is justice. It is his will to make things right. So basically, he's a cult leader. You want to know a secret? There is nothing but true nature. How can things be anything other than what it is, exactly as it is? Only the ego will argue against reality. If you grew up believing only a man and woman are allowed to kiss, then you see two dudes kissing. The mental reaction of, that's not how it's supposed to be, that's ego. You can mentally argue against reality, but reality will simply be reality. No matter how much you argue, there's going to be two dudes kissing in front of you. Deus talks about fighting the will of the planet itself, how Vlitra is an enemy to his perfect world. To destroy the will of the world, he created the Sakra Devanam Indra, the ruler of the heavens, to bend it to his will. So the pair go on to stop Deus from sucking the mantra of all living beings so he controlled the world to his whim. And of course, to save Mitra.
Insolent fools! Why do you not understand that the true enemy is the will of the planet? I am the god that carries the fate of civilization on his shoulders. All who oppose me... You are a danger to my world. Consider your lives forfeit! Those who interfere with the cause will suffer! Enough! Once my world is liberated of the DUKKHA, I
I shall cease all the cries. So shameless supper. Until then... Then you defeat Vigil. That is my intention! My cause is just. Die! Let's do this!
Is it really all over?
I don't know.
Well, is your wrath gone?
I said I don't know.
I see. Let us go. Mithra is waiting.
Mithra!
Mother.
And just like that, the world is saved. Or is it? Well, we still have the golden spider to flesh out. If you believe someone who's full of anger and hate is too far gone for nirvana, well, the Angulimala Sutta begs to differ. Angulimala was a ruthless killer whose blade sliced apart over 40 people to display his bloodlust to the world. He would cut off their fingers and wear them like a necklace. Lord Buddha wanted to go and gather alms at Savati, which is donated food or money that is given to the less fortunate. The people argued for Buddha to avoid going the road where he would cross the killer's path. But he wasn't too worried about this lunatic. He was far more focused on his charity work, and that road was his quickest way there. When Angulimala saw the Buddha crossing his path, he was ecstatic at the thought of having the corpse of such a nobleman added to his collection. Not only has he slain men, but tons of animals, including giant elephants, but nothing as prestigious as a former king and a modern-day Buddha. Instead of slaying the Buddha, he was stopped in his tracks with a conversation and became a bhikkhu, an official monk. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why. I'm just going off the text, and the reason is too weird to give a full-blown tinfoil hat analysis of. Just know that Angulimala screamed, "Stop running away, you coward!" And the Buddha was like, "No, I'm not the one running away. You are. From yourself." And Angulimala was like, "Oh my god, this dude, he's so wise," or something like that. Let's just go with Buddha saw the goodness in him and he was showing him the way to peace. King Kosala arrived with an army of 500 men to slay Angulimala for his crimes, but Buddha argued against it. Seeing his reformed ways, the king and his army lowered their weapons and backed away. In the morning as he was collecting charity, Angulimala saw a woman in pain. He went back to Buddha to share the great heartbreak he experienced upon seeing her in such a vulnerable state. Buddha told him to seek her out and give her his blessing. Angulimala is confused by how a tainted man such as himself can give blessings, but Buddha explains that accepting the noble path is death to his old life and a birth into one of purity. While he was a killer in the past, reborn with his vows as a monk, he has not since killed and is still pure. Later, he goes off into seclusion to be alone and realizes the meaning of Buddha's words, becoming an arahant, which is just Sanskrit for enlightened being. Even with his Buddhahood realized, the villagers threw rocks and pots at Angulimala until his head was broken open and his body was covered in his own blood. When Lord Buddha saw this, he knew this was simply Angulimala's karma catching up to him. Nothing to be worried about. Angulimala paid no mind to their wrath and accepted things as they are without parting any blame to anyone who hated him, but also felt no shame for his past actions. He was at peace both with the world and with himself. This is Ananda, or bliss. Yeah, so I haven't heard this story in nearly a decade, and I just wanted to add this parable since Asura's heart too is full of rage. It's not a story I particularly like, but it's nice to have context from an actual sutta telling people even someone corrupted by heinous acts isn't exempt from nirvana.
Lord Deus was everything to me. As long as Lord Deus was alive, nothing else mattered. But he is gone. I will never see him again.
I do not think so. You shall not destroy my precious vessel.
You have defeated the will of the planet and proved yourself worthy.
I had the planet's will give birth to Vlitra, and scattered the Goma around this world to test you.
all to shape you into a suitable vessel. The one who controls the planet is the one fit to guide it. It is I who keeps the wheels of this planet in motion. You're the one I should kill!
Use too much power. Your body will... No, Father! Forgive me.
Another failure. In that case, I shall bring an end to this world and begin it anew.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't understand what this Guan Yin wannabe is trying to accomplish. By the way, Guan Yin or Avalokitesvara, bro. I don't have anyone to consult on how to pronounce these Sanskrit words, but just bear with me. Avalokitesvara is the bodhisattva of compassion. They chose to stay and help people instead of basking in the bliss of their Buddhahood. They worked tirelessly until they crippled both their arms, and because of this, They were gifted 1,000 arms to help them realize their dream of freeing all sentient beings from samsara. And if this imposter is already all-powerful, why does he need a better body? Forget it. ASURA'S wrath isn't particularly deep narratively, just a hell of a good time of action. So let's scoot that critical thinking under the rug as we enjoy the show. Yasha fends off incoming Goma so Asura can recover his strength. So, they aren't actually these almighty beings. They're more like cyborgs, and Asura's body isn't strong enough to channel the full strength of his wrath, so Yasha risks his life to upgrade Asura to his full potential.
Take this. Pride, lust, greed, sloth, vanity, violence, melancholy, and wrath. These are the mantra that govern the world. I give it to you. Take it. Face an even greater hell than this! Get up, Asura. It's time to reclaim Mithra and end this. Mithra! I can read your every move. Shut up! Changed you at all. Asura! Shut up! Let us decide today. Decide what? Who is stronger? I'm tired of seeing your face! Then I will end this for you right now! Do you think someone like you could do something as important as save the world? You are just a fool that only knows how to break things! Then I will break everything, including this living hell! I grow tired of your face. I think it is time we finish this! Bradley! Take this! This is yours! Mumbling about.
idiot. You were always a brother, never an enemy.
What is liberation? Why is achieving enlightenment actually a misnomer? Chasing enlightenment is like a dog chasing its tail. It'll never catch it. All it has to do is stop chasing and realize the thing it's been tirelessly chasing was present all along. The solution is simple. The desire for enlightenment becomes its own craving, its own unsatisfactoriness. Let that go and be liberated from unsatisfactoriness. There's nothing other than the reality of what is as it is. A projection of what enlightenment is supposed to be is like a dog arguing there's something wrong with it because it saw a bird fly, and it believes something is wrong with it because it can't do the same thing. Liberation is giving up the perceived beliefs the mind makes of what should be and being clear about what actually is. No magic panacea for altered states of consciousness or experiences. There's no more misperceiving reality. As such, you can't actually become enlightened. It would be like a dog saying, I want to become a dog. But what is possible is seeing through all the layers of misperception and letting them go. That is liberation. If someone knows what enlightenment is, there's nothing special in particular about them. It's like a dog who knows it's a dog versus a dog that isn't conscious of the fact it's a dog. Both are dogs. Nothing's different between them besides one is consciously aware of its true nature. The dog that doesn't know its true nature doesn't mean it's not already its true nature, just that it has no awareness of it. But both dogs are still dogs. No better, no worse. That's why enlightenment is referred to as the cosmic joke. You literally get nothing out of it. Don't trust anyone who claims enlightenment makes them special, or worse, that they know something you don't. That's a con artist seducing you to join their cult. Before one studies Zen, mountains are mountains and waters are waters. After a first glimpse into the truth of Zen, mountains are no longer mountains and waters are no longer waters. After enlightenment, mountains are once again mountains and waters once again waters. Dogen. Asura heads off to the final fight as I still have no idea why this Guan Yin imitation is doing what he's doing. I guess he wants to create a perfect being to guide the world properly? And Gaia isn't the only world, but there are others. So he groomed Asura to be the god of this world as he goes off and does the same for the others. I guess? Not a bad deal for Asura if I do say so myself.
I refuse! Get back here! Shut up!
As the Heart Sutra says, form is emptiness, emptiness is form.
This ends now. Understand it all now. The true reason for my wrath. Stand it! There is always some fool who wants to rule the world! Always forcing others to do what they cannot do for themselves! How can he be so powerful? To no one. Nor will I be prayed to. But above all else, I will never forgive you. Making my daughter cry! This is not my destiny.
If you kill him, all the mantra will be lost. Without mantra, you cannot survive.
But you will still live. couldn't bear to see you suffer.
Stupid.
No more crying. Smile. My wrath is finally DUKKHA. I'll be home soon.
And that was how my father lived.